Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the provincial government of Albay, through the Provincial Tourism, Culture and Arts Office, is celebrating National Arts Month 2026 under the theme, Ani ng Sining, Katotohanan at Giting. The month-long celebration underscores art as a harvest of truth, courage, and resilience, reflecting the enduring creative spirit of Albayanos. Activities are being conducted in schools, cultural centers, and public spaces across the province, featuring art exhibits, workshops, and performances involving students, local artists, and community members. The Provincial Tourism, Culture and Arts Office said National Arts Month serves as a platform to strengthen public appreciation of the arts through collaboration among schools, cultural groups, and local government units. The initiative also aims to promote safe and inclusive participation while positioning Albay as a dynamic hub of cultural expression. In other story, the Department of Agriculture Regional Field Office 5 has started the regional field validation of Albay's provincial entries for the 2026 Gawad Saka Search, recognizing outstanding farmers, fisherfolk, and agri-based organizations. The Gawad Saka is the Department of Agriculture's highest award honoring excellence, innovation, and productivity in the agriculture and fisheries sector. The validation team conducted on-site inspections, document reviews, and interviews to assess the performance and operations of the nominees. Albay's entries include the Reforzado family of Edlica Farm in Pulangi for Outstanding Farm Family, the Albay Young Farmers Organization Incorporated in Kamalig for Outstanding Young Farmer Organization, and HML Foods Corporation in Daraga for Outstanding Agricultural Enterprise. The field validation aims to ensure that all nominees meet the strict standards of the national awards. The 2026 Gawad Saka Search continues to highlight agriculture as a key driver of regional growth and rural development through innovation and strong government support. In other news, Albay Governor Noel E. Rizal assured residents of Rapu-Rapu Island that the provincial government will continue to monitor and prioritize the municipality's development needs, particularly in infrastructure and health services. The governor said the province remains committed to resolving long-standing issues involving unfinished road concreting projects and the condition of key health facilities on the island. Rizal, together with 2nd District Engineer Warren Azutea, conducted an on-site inspection of ongoing and incomplete infrastructure projects as well as the Batan District Hospital to assess their status and identify areas needing immediate action. He said road projects connecting several barangays will resume following the termination of contracts with contractors who failed to complete the works on schedule. Rizal added that the provincial government will proceed with open bidding to ensure transparency and fast-track the completion of remaining projects. The governor stressed that improved access roads and upgraded health facilities in island municipalities like Rapu-Rapu are vital to economic activity, mobility, and the delivery of basic services. Rizal reiterated that the provincial government will maintain close oversight of project implementation in Rapu-Rapu and coordinate with concerned agencies to ensure that promised developments reach the people. In the national scene, The Department of Education will review its grading transmutation system after a congressional education body found that it may have encouraged the mass promotion of students who lack the skills needed to move to higher grade levels, Education Secretary Sonny Angara said Tuesday. Angara said there is no official policy that allows mass promotion, but noted that some teachers may be inclined to pass failing students out of sympathy, especially when they also serve as their tutors. He admitted that certain DepEd policies, including DepEd Order No. 8, issued in 2015, may have unintentionally led to students being promoted despite weak academic performance. Under that transmutation policy, students who receive raw grades as low as 60 can be converted to a passing mark of 75, a practice that the Second Congressional Commission on Education said makes poor performance appear acceptable. Angara agreed with lawmakers' recommendation to fully implement the Academic Recovery and Accessible Learning Program to help struggling students, assuring that it will support learners with unsatisfactory performance. In other story, 3 senators have withdrawn their signatures from a draft report of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee investigating alleged corruption and questionable flood control projects. Senate President Vicente Soto III said Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri and Senators J.V. Ejercito and Win Gatchalian asked that their names be removed from the draft. Soto explained that the document was not yet the official committee report and was only meant for discussion. He said the senators wanted more time to review the final version before deciding whether to support it or not. In a separate message, Soto warned the public not to believe reports based on the circulating draft. He said the official and complete committee report would only be released on Wednesday or Thursday and that the public should not be misled. In other news, the House Committee on Justice met again on Wednesday to decide if the impeachment complaints against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. have enough substance to move forward, after earlier ruling that complaints were properly filed in form. One complaint filed by lawyer Andre De Jesus was questioned by some lawmakers for lack of substance, as it accused Marcos of actions such as allowing former President Rodrigo Duterte surrender to the ICC, alleged drug use, budget issues, supposed kickbacks in flood control projects, and creating a commission allegedly to protect allies, claims the palace has denied as impeachable. The committee will also review a second complaint filed by activist Liza Maza and Makabayan lawmakers, which accuses Marcos of designing a budget system that enabled corruption in flood control projects, even as Maza admitted impeachment is difficult due to Marcos's allies dominating Congress. After discussions, the panel will vote separately on both complaints, which could be dismissed if found lacking substance unless overturned by enough House members, while Marcos maintains he committed no impeachable acts and has expressed concern over the complaint's possible impact on the economy. And in the news outside the country, China is seeking to expand its global influence as the United States steps back from many international organizations. President Xi Jinping has called for a multipolar world and positioned China as a responsible and stabilizing power in contrast to what it calls U.S. hegemonism. China's Belt and Road Initiative and economic ties with the Global South are key tools in gaining support and reducing Western influence. Partnerships with Russia and North Korea highlight China's strategic alignment with other authoritarian countries, though these relationships are mainly practical rather than based on shared values. Analysts say China is not trying to replace the U.S. globally, but aims to protect its own regime and increase influence in regions that it sees as strategically important, especially Asia. In other story, the United States' decision to leave the World Health Organization (WHO) in January 2026 has shaken global health efforts, creating a major funding gap because the U.S. was a founding member and previously provided about 15% of WHO's budget. Africa is expected to be hit hardest, as many countries rely on WHO funding and expertise to fight infectious diseases and support weak health systems, with nations like Malawi, Nigeria, Kenya, and the Democratic Republic of Congo facing likely cuts. Programs targeting HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, polio, and neglected tropical diseases are especially at risk, raising fears of drug shortages, disrupted prevention campaigns, and a possible rise in infections and drug resistance. Health experts also warn that reduced funding could weaken disease surveillance and emergency response, making it harder to detect and control outbreaks before they spread across borders. Beyond emergencies, cuts to WHO support could affect healthcare worker training, immunization, maternal and child health services, forcing governments and households to shoulder higher healthcare costs and worsening inequalities. The U.S. withdrawal also weakens global health cooperation, reduces American influence in setting health standards, risks job losses at WHO, and may push African countries to seek alternative partners while facing an uncertain and fragile transition. And finally, in the news outside the country, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify in a House investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, a spokesman said, avoiding a possible vote to hold them in contempt. The Clintons had previously refused to appear before Congress, which is looking into how authorities handled earlier probes of Epstein, a convicted sex offender with connections to wealthy and powerful people. Republicans said the Clintons has past ties to Epstein, including Bill Clinton flying on Epstein's private plane, justify questioning them under oath, while the couple submitted written statements describing their knowledge of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Democrats warn the investigation is being used to attack political opponents of former President Donald Trump, who was also linked to Epstein but has not been called to testify, and say the probe risks being politically motivated. After the Clintons agreed to testify, the House Rules Committee paused its vote on contempt, avoiding potential divisions among the Democrats over whether all public figures should face scrutiny in the Epstein case. And that's all for the news at 12, February 5, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. And thanks to our news writer, Albay PIO, and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Officer, OIZ, Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rizal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.